Wow.
Right? So now,
I'm straight.
so now you see. Well, actually, remember, we wanted a curve in this direction. You're actually opposite. Your curve is completely opposite.
Damn.
Oh yeah, that's a good word for it, because let me tell you something here. This part here, I'm going to grab something to show you here. This will make it easier. This part right there is the hard palate. We make sure that's level so that it doesn't affect the curve. For example, if my head was down forward, it would affect the curve and make it look more like yours, right? Or if my head was way back, it would make the curve go the other way, more like this person's. We want to make sure we get you in a neutral position, and that's measured by the hard palate, and that's perfectly level. So that's a beautiful picture right there, and you indeed have a reverse cervical curve. When you have a reverse cervical curve, it affects all the discs in between. They become displaced. Think of it this way. We're going from this curve to my hand can't even do it. I can't even go that far, I don't think. So it's stretching, and don't forget this. You've got the brain stem right here. That's the most important part of your whole body. When it's sitting this way, it's comfortable and happy. But when it does this, it puts a torque and a tension and pulls on it. And that's going to affect the brain, that's going to affect the body below.
Wow.
We're also seeing spurring, where the bones are changing shape. We see it in the back here at just about all these levels here. Thinning of the disc. We almost have bone on bone there and there as well. And we're seeing some spurs, some bony changes in the front here. This is your body basically trying to cope with all this. And eventually, if nothing helps it, it would probably just fuse. Stick them all together. Now, remember I said if you drop a line from the top here, it should intersect the bottom? Look where it is. 25 millimeters in front. So what that means is your head is sitting so far in front of your neck that it looks like really from about, I would say from about here up is part of the weight, part of the problem. And this part down here has to hold all that weight up.
Like a hunchback.
Yeah, like a hunchback. And we end up seeing at some point a hump back here. I'm surprised we don't see too much of it at this point. But that's something that you end up seeing because of all the pressure that this area has to take. Now, what you have is, if you notice on this film right here, what I want to show you is what we're looking at. And basically we're looking at this view here. Your C1 and your C2 are in the wrong position. We've done some tests with you today as well to find out which one it was, and indeed it's C2. And if you notice here, this part is centered and lined up pretty good, but look at this here. This part is off to the right. In other words, it should look where it's lined up this and this together, but actually yours is twisted. And not only is it twisted, but this side is even gone up. And if you go back to this, you see how, actually let's even come over here. You see how this one here is C2. This part is leaning back. In other words, if you look at this here, it's sitting like this, like back, like tilted.
Yes.
Go look at yours now. You see the C2?
I'm seeing it.
See how it's going forward?
Yes.
And that's what's starting this whole opposite curve. And that's putting that torque and tension on the brainstem. So not only is it twisted to the right, but it's also tipped forward. So what we're going to do now is we're going to make an adjustment by hand to correct that and get it back to a better position.
Okay.
Okay, we're going to do that now, and then we'll have you rest